What is up, everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, bringing you guys yet another video. This time we're going to be going over the Call of Duty World League, going over the events of the Pro League qualifier, who got in, who's going to be playing in the Pro League, and what's changed in the time since my last video, which went up sometime in December. But we had a little bit of an off season for all esports, really, throughout the Christmas season and just the holiday season in general. So now the seasons are starting back up. Of course, this weekend we had the Gears of War Mexico Open. I'll be posting a video on that later tonight, giving a recap of what happened. Yeah. So now getting into COD. So I'm going to be going over the CWL. Division A starts today at 6 p.m. The first match is Red Reserve versus Reciprocity. Optic plays midnight. And so getting right into it, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that Clayster talked about the amount that each team gets for being in the Pro League. He said that each team gets $45,000 just for being in the league, $8,000 per player, as well as there being a $500 bonus that's split amongst the players for each match won. So each match that they win, a player gets a $100 bonus, and there are 22 games in the season, so $2,200 in total is the highest that any player can get from the bonus. And then of course there's the prize pool for the seasons. First place is $500,000, second place is $300,000, third place is $200,000, fourth place is $100,000, fifth through sixth is $43,750, seventh through eighth is $18,750, and 9th through 10th is $12,500. Not so sure why 5th, 6th, and 7th, 8th are such odd numbers, but I'm guessing that this is done because of the switch to 5v5. It's the only thing that makes sense, because obviously our prize pools before started at $400,000, the most for first place in light of obviously Call of Duty Champs, which was $800K, and Black Ops 3. For each player got $200,000. But the monetary breakdown for this season is the same as previous CWL seasons, if memory serves me correctly. But if it doesn't, please feel free to correct me in the comment section below. So getting into the season, really, I'm just going to start off by giving a recap of what happened at the Pro League qualifier. So basically, one of the biggest things that happened at the Pro League qualifier, one of the biggest storylines to come out of it, was the disbanding of FaZe Clan. Of course, in Pool A, the two teams that went through to the Pro League were Enigma 6 and Reciprocity, FaZe Clan being third in the group, as you can see on the screen. They did not qualify, as did Team Sween, which was a bit of a surprise to me considering the form that they were in post-Vegas and whatnot. Of course, from Pool B, we had Envy and Heretics qualify. No real surprises there. G2 not qualifying was a bit of a surprise for the community, but the roster was, makeshift to some degree, so there wasn't really a great deal of expectation for G2, because it could go either way. With the teams that were competing in that tournament, they were all very hungry and very capable of winning any given day, which is supported by the final placings. Of course, we have Pool C. 5 teams qualified from Pool C, which is the most possible. We have Midnight, 100 Thieves, Overtime, Team Space, and Accelerate. Of course, Overtime is now Denial, so yeah, Denial, Team Space, Accelerate, 100 Thieves, and Midnight. And then from Pool D, our last pool, we just had Evil Geniuses, UYU, and Red Reserve. So some of the biggest teams that were knocked out from this tournament were Mind Freak, Pittsburgh Knights, and Lightning Pandas. And then of course, obviously FaZe Clan. So those are really the biggest teams that were excluded from the Pro League that we kind of expected to make it in. But in the case of FaZe Clan and others, we've seen that they have found new homes, some of the players at least, as subs on pro teams. And in some cases, those players were able to get spots in the Pro League because they were subbed in for other players. It got a little bit sketchy, but that's how it is sometimes. It's a business at the end of the day. And it's just rough. Sometimes you gotta make tough decisions. So moving on from the Pro League qualifier results, just gonna get into the general team compositions. So of course we have the best team in Call of Duty based on the results of CWL Vegas, Optic Gaming, with Scump, Dashy. Zuma will be subbing this week because Dashy was having visa issues apparently. Yes, FaZe Zuma is the sub for Optic. I mean, it's insane. So we'll see what it's like to have a sub duo of Zuma and Scump this week. Should be pretty exciting. But this week we have Zuma filling in, like I said. And then we have Karma, TJ Halley, and Grimsix also on the roster, of course. But Dashy is the permanent member of the roster, so we'll see him sub back in likely in the near future, but who knows. Then, of course, on LG we have Slacked, John, Formal, Classic, and Gunless, and their substitute is Ricky. Then we have Gen.G, which is Spacely's Team Space. So we have Havoc, Spacely, Major Maniac, Nagafin, Mox, and their sub is Luca from Mindfreak, I want to say. I think he's coming from Mindfreak. He's from the APAC region, so it's Mindfreak or Tainted Minds, one of the two, I want to say. Then we have Evil Geniuses, of course, Felony, Facento, Goonjar, Exotic, Royalty, and their sub was GodRx. We have Red Reserve, Bance, Rated, Joe, Scraps, Zero, and their sub is Shocks. Reciprocity, Zed, Dens, Shawnee, Tommy, Wuskin, their sub is Dylan. UYU, Methods, Mayhem, Knight, Proto, and Skies, and Methods is subbing for Spoof right now, but there was controversy because he took Spoof's spot, and the owners of the organization were seen as like just subbing Methods in because they wanted him to be there, not just because Spoof was underperforming or there was an extenuating circumstance. So many people in the community really did not like that decision. They thought it was pretty grimy. So that was the controversy surrounding the substitutions. Of course, there's another case that I'll talk about in a second, but back to the point at hand. Midnight, which is Lamagod, Jet Li, Brack, Parazellian, and Envoy, and then their sub is Pander, excuse me. Now, Midnight is one of the best teams to come through the Pro League qualifier. They're in Division A with Optic and the others, and they are seen to be one of the best teams going into that division, coming from the Pro League qualifier since they went 6-0. Our next team, of course, is Splice, which is Aqua, Accuracy, Looney, Temp, and Jared, and their sub is Happy. United Clayster, Abizi, Arces, Brasini, and JCap, and their sub is Celium. Then we have 100 Thieves, which is, of course, comprised of Kenny, Octane, Slasher, Enable, and Pharaoh. But for 100 Thieves, they subbed out Pharaoh for Priesta from FaZe Clan. This is a good choice on their part, picking up Priesta, but people objected to the substitution because they felt that it wasn't justified, given that the Pharaoh's not the worst player on 100 Thieves, and he wasn't the problem. Of course, in that Envious, we have Aches, Assault, Apathy, Silly, and Hook, and their sub is Bevels. And then for Team Heretics, we have Lucky, Method Sick, Journey, Sukri, Metals, and their sub is Legend. Accelerate is Fastball, Abizi, M. Ruiz, Believe, and Profizi, and their sub is Robbie B. And then for Denial, we have Natshe, Zeked, Risk, Whalers, Breezy, and their sub is Stan. And lastly, for Enigma 6, we have General, Cade, Kismet, Frosty, Diabolic, and their sub is Sender. In terms of the attachments that we have taken out of the rotation for this season, we have High Cal, High Explosive, Laser Sight 2, Max Load, Rapid Fire, Rocket Cache, Steady Grip, and Stock 2 on the SOG, which is part of a gentleman's agreement. Of course, for the optics, we have Fast Lock. Perks, we have Gung Ho, Skulker, Team Link, and Tracker. Wildcards, we have Overkill, Primary Operator Mod, Secondary Operator Mod. So pretty much taking out all the things from public matches that would be pretty annoying and competitive and would destroy the flow of the game, if you will. Of course, we have score streaks taken out, UAV, care package, counter UAV, sentry, mantis, dart, and RC car. Pretty much what you'd expect. And the gear is just the acoustic sensor for obvious reasons. Yeah, if you play Black Ops 4, you know acoustic sensor makes enemy movements easier to hear. And in the competitive setting, this would give you an unfair advantage in game modes like Search and Destroy if if an enemy is not running dead silence. So that's why it's taken out. In terms of the specialists, the only specialists that are restricted are Nomad, which is one that has the canine companion, Ajax, which is the guy with the shield, and then Torque, which I believe is the barrier and the barbed wire, but don't quote me on that. I don't play with any specialists that aren't in the competitive set, to be honest with you, so I'm not really too sure about the other ones. And then the specialist equipment that's banned is TAC Deploy Beacon, obviously, for Seraph, the Seeker Drone for Prophet, and then the Reactor Core for Firebreak. So those were taken out for obvious reasons. Seeker Drone being attracted to enemies, the TAC Deploy giving you a TAC Deploy Beacon where you can choose where you respawn, and the Reactor Core just, stunning people through walls and things. So they took out anything that could give you an unfair advantage. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to go over the things that have changed going into the Pro League. If you want to know more about the rules, I have a video going over the CWL rule set that was uploaded back in December. I will link that down in the description, so feel free to check that out if you need a refresher. And please be sure to watch the matches this week. We're going to be watching Division A this week. The divisions will alternate week to week. So Division A plays now. I believe they play for the next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then Division B plays, and there will be cross-divisional play somewhere through there. But yeah, we're about to kick off season tonight. Yeah, Call of Duty season is finally back upon us, so it's a great time. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.